There is only one you, and that is your superpower. You can't F that up. However, you can get stuck. That's why I created this space called Unstuck Yourself with Crystal Simmons. Unstuck Yourself is about figuring out what has you feeling frustrated, isolated, or depleted of energy so that you're able to unstuck yourself on your journey through life when you don't know how to move forward. Unstuck yourself in your career that no longer excites and challenges you. Unstuck yourself with negative thoughts that seem to be doing cartwheels in your head consistently. I don't have the answers. You do. You always have. I'm providing the time, space, and grace for you to reconnect to that knowing. I'm Crystal Simmons, coach, speaker, and facilitator, and I'm grateful you made it here. Let's begin to unstuck yourself. Hold please. We'll be back right after these dope messages. What's that sound? That's the sound of being able to eat whatever your yummy tummy desires while completing your Invisalign treatment. I love food, so I was ecstatic to still eat what I wanted by simply popping out those Invisalign aligners when I was ready to eat, which was super dope, especially compared to those days of restricted snacks with the traditional braces. Invisalign lets you do you. Not to mention they feel better and are less painful than braces. Invisalign gets you the results you want in as little as 6 months. Now peeps, please note that treatment time does vary depending on Invisalign product type, your wear time, and the complexity of what you and your soon-to-be straight teeth need. So that must be determined by your doctor. Call Bates Orthodontics today at 804-258-4268. And if you're listening to this late at night, then visit them at batesbraces.com. That is BATESBRACES.com. batesbraces.com to book your free consult by clicking on the bright green button and following the 3 easy steps to reserve your appointment today. And for the peeps that are outside of Virginia, visit Invisalign.com. That is INVISALINGN.com and enter your zip code to find the best Invisalign provider for you. Let the dope peeps at Bates Orthodontics know Crystal sent you from the Unstuck Yourself with Crystal Simmons podcast. And send me pics. I want to see those soon to be straight teeth peeps. Well, hello there, peeps. It's me, your favorite Unstuck coach, Crystal, sharing ways to unstuck yourself with old habits, thought patterns, stale mindset, catabolic energy that is draining you. Unstuck yourself from not expressing your emotions, your thoughts, or what you truly want. And I do it really well. But before we dive into today's topic, let's take a little trip down to Crystal Town. So I'll share the many ways I get stuck and unstuck, because that's what life is all about. Unstucking yourself is not about being perfect or feeling shame for your thoughts or actions. Unstucking yourself is about increasing your awareness to what is and is not working anymore. Maybe it worked in the past. It ain't working today. But it's also about highlighting your dope ass abilities. You have learned and adapted and just been so resilient that you might not even recognize all that you're capable of. Because once you do, listen, that's when you could take purposeful action. And purposeful action can look a variety of ways. You get to choose. All right. So what have I been up to? Y'all, I started my new job. And here's the title. I am the logistics coordinator, global deliverables, and support specialist at IPEC. And IPEC is the institution that I'm getting my coaching certification from, which I complete the 3rd module. So it's broken up in 3 modules, 30-hour training, 10 hours per day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They do have trainings in person. Mine is virtual. And I know you might be thinking like, yo, what? Because that's what I was thinking when they first told me. I'm like, how do we sit in front of a computer for 30 hours in 3 days? I'm not even going to lie to you all. Yes, it is draining, but it's energetic too. It is the weirdest thing. We take very timely breaks, but we have so many actions or so many exercises that we complete, either one-on-one in breakout rooms or in a group where they're sharing information, giving stories based on some of the skills that we are harnessing and learning and developing. And then we'll break out in smaller groups. I'm honestly kind of sad because it's like 20 plus of us and we have been doing this program together. We've been on this journey since November of 2021. And next weekend, mid-May, by the time you hear this, it'll be a few days until I start module 3. But it's been so dope meeting so many new people, but also recognizing our growth. And when we first started being nervous, and then when we go in the breakout rooms and start coaching one another, I'm just so proud of us. And I'm just thankful for this opportunity. And for those who might be wondering, like, what is IPEC? It's called IPEC, but it's the Institute for Professional Excellence and Coaching. And I started my part-time job there. That's also virtual. And it's been amazing. And I don't want to just blanket that statement with just, it's been amazing. It has been eye-opening. It has been, it has solidified my intuition and my thoughts on all jobs can't be what I experienced before. And it also requires me to take ownership that energy attracts like energy. And I have grown so much, so I understand why I may have experienced some unpleasant interactions with coworkers, supervisors, and unpleasant being just feeling unheard and unseen and not completely understood. But I can also say I didn't take the time to understand or hear others either. So energy attracts like energy, and being able to recognize that, but also give myself some love of I did the best that I could with what I knew and what I was exposed to and what I chose to learn or not learn. And being at IPEC and working there, I told my partner, because she works full-time and I'm part-time, I'm helping her, was supporting her in this role. And I told her, I was like, she has been an amazing trainer for me, where she had a whole spreadsheet, y'all, of what my day would look like and the different processes that I should get comfortable learning before she handed them off to me. But she put this in this Word sheet and just broke it down. She had categorized. It was in this chart and it was so thoughtful. She sent me an email the day of for my training. It was like, hey, Crystal, I'm so excited for us to work together. And she shared her intentions with me of the day of just me, just watching, listening, but mainly us spending time getting to know each other. Literally talking maybe hour or two where we use a word where we get too talkative. We'll say the word so that we can kind of come back to, all right, we got to get some work done, or we want to get some work done. It's not that we gotta, but it really just, and I'm celebrating myself for having the hope that I could attract this job, but the people in this job to allow me to be me, encourage, really like, hey, I'm going to show you this and you're probably going to forget. And you're probably going to ask the same question like 5 or 10 times because that's what I did. We welcome that. Her saying that, my supervisor saying that, and them actually following through with those words with their purposeful action. Each and every day, I'm excited to go to work. Just walk to my office. And I'm going to also say that I miss having my midday where I get to do nothing or I get to work out later. Or maybe I get to just like take a walk to the water with my husband. now that's either done earlier or it's done later in the evening. So there is a give and a shift, because I don't want to say it's taken away. It's just shifted. And I'm thankful that I'm trusting myself on this process. And all hell could break loose at this place. I know that I'm able to attract this and even bigger opportunities. And that's the exciting part. And it kind of ties into what we're going to talk about for today, dope train topic. But before we jump there, I did want to add, me and my husband, we started this summer, I think the Summer Ready Challenge with 2 people that I found on YouTube. I told y'all about, I believe last week or the week before. I don't know. It's been amazing. The workouts keep me excited, but also it's allowing me to create this routine where I'll wake up, meditate, journal, and we'll get to work. We'll work out and then shower and then walk to my office, chat with my partner Aaron at work and laugh it up. I'm asking mad questions, just being me. It's there's hope. If you are looking for anything, it doesn't have to be a job. It can be a new relationship. It could be a home. It could be a new place to travel. Anything like that you thought of and like, does this even exist? I'm just going to share these words and say it does. If you thought of it, it exists. And it might already be there, or it might be waiting for you to create it so that it exists. How's that? How y'all feeling? I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all are feeling well. I hope y'all are excited for May. May. Oh man, I love this month. It's the anniversary of me and my hubs, Team Simmons. 5/15/16 is when we got married. So this would be our 6th anniversary. So I'm really excited about that. But funny thing, my mod is on our anniversary day. So 5/15 is the 3rd day so the last day, but I'm taking off the next day so I can kind of chill, which mentally, I really would like to take off like 2-3 days, but I'm getting back to work. Because last time when we did the second one, I took off 1 day. And I was like, dag, I should have taken off 2. But the first time I did the mod, I just went back to work like I was coaching. I don't know what I was doing then, but I know I was coaching. And yet, I still did that right now. I was like, I should have taken some time. This is like, I am done. But it's such a great experience. All right. Let's mosey on over the dope train, the messages that will be dropped, and talk about trust. We're going to make a few stops along the way because I want to share different perspectives of how one can unstuck themselves by utilizing the power of trust. I'm going to break it into pieces of trusting yourself, trust in others, and trust in God and the universe. However you wish to visualize it, that's the way that I put them together. It is God's universe. And that's just my verbiage. You can have your own. If I asked you right now to define the word trust, what would be your definition? And I'm curious because I know what the word means, but I can't really say the definition. I feel like I would just ramble. So y'all already know what I'm about to do next. I'm going to break that shit down. What is trust? Trust used as a noun or a verb. Firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. Drink that up. So understanding that, having a firm belief in the reliability, truth, the ability, and strength of someone or something. So let's talk about someone like you. I don't know where that came from. Trusting yourself. We're going to start here for our first stop because it is the most important stop ever. Trust in yourself is so important because that's where my change happens and is sustainable. because I'm speaking from my own experience. We all know we can't change other people. And I'm finding that we know, but there are people who know, and there are people who are like, I say I know, but I don't know. We really cannot change other people. And that's why I tacked on the part about it being sustainable. You might think you've changed someone because you've noticed their habits have been altered for a small amount of time. And then, oh, look, oh no, old them is right back. And that old them stays longer. However, change is not a black or white thing where it's like all or none. Change can be incremental. Is that a word? Yeah, incremental. It could be abrupt. It could be gradual. But if we keep it simple and go back to trusting yourself, you only know you, right? You lived the life you lived. Think about the things you may do regularly or every day. Even the simplest things. Maybe like making your bed, brushing your teeth, putting on lotion, wrapping up your hair at night, seasoning your food. Y'all know we don't even have to use measurements for that stuff. Like dab it here, more this. Sometimes I measure, sometimes I don't. But anyways, picking out your dope clothes for the day. And I'm speaking for myself because I love doing that right now, especially for work. Getting my workout clothes picked out. Then I have like, ooh, is it going to be hot? Is it going to be cold? Should I wear a sweater in my office? Yeah, anyways. But thinking about those things where you do all the time, maybe you don't do it at all. Maybe you're looking to do it in the future. You've done so much. And my question is, do you recall the very first time you did all of these things? Maybe some people remember. I remember the first time I tried to make pancakes and I was younger. My mom made them differently than my dad. My mom made the little tiny silver dollar ones that were, so buttery. They were so good. I tried to replicate. I can't. I can't. She has been anointed. My dad would make really, really big, fat pancakes. And little Crystal, being independent and don't need nobody, she could take care of herself because she's a middle child. I tried to do it and I had the pan. What is that pan called? Is the griddle, the square with the handle pan? So I poured the batter in. The pan wasn't hot enough, y'all. The batter went everywhere. My dad got so mad. I was like, you can't do this no more. I was like, what? Gonna ban me from the kitchen? I'm pretty sure that was my first time making pancakes, right? And for some reason, I thought I was going to be really dope at it. I've seen my parents do it for years. I got a pan, check. Mix the batter, read the back of the box, check. Added more water because the back of the box always made the pancakes thick and dry and gross, check. I didn't pay attention to what the setting of the pan was supposed to be on though. Ooh. But I trusted myself. I really was like, okay, she's going to be able to do this. I have a firm belief that I could do this. And just so you know, I am a great cook now. And I make mean pancakes, waffles. Come on. And I use that small story because we forget how much we have trusted ourselves over and over and over again and succeeded and flourished and thrived and enjoyed it or realized I don't like this. And that's cool. But in order to have a firm belief in your truth, your abilities, your strength, you need to identify what that is for you. What does that look like, right? You might hear people say, what is your why? Why do you do, like when you find out what you do, or when you find out why you do something, I don't know what they say. Just, oh my gosh, that's funny. What they're basically saying, and who are they? I'll say what I'm saying. When I have followed what other people have done, and it can be small things like making a pancake, but it also could be deciding to have kids. It could be deciding to get married. It could be moving away from your family or maybe moving closer to family. It could be quitting your job when everyone else is looking to you to be everything to them. Unlocking what is true for you builds that faith, builds that belief, builds that trust. And you're listening to this. You're not the same person you were 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, maybe 6 months ago. COVID has accelerated growth for many people. And I will say, if you're not growing, you are dying. There is no, I'm just staying the same. That's not how our brains, our bodies, that's not how it works. We have to push ourselves just a little bit. It doesn't have to be drastic where if we're talking about fitness, you don't work out at all and you're like, I need to start working out right now. But just think about it. If you haven't done any physical activity, how is your body growing? How are your muscles, your heart, the blood pumping through your veins? Like, how is that possible? And this is just a chance for you to see how that feels. Just sit with it. What are some ways that you build trust in yourself? I'll name a few and then we'll go to our second part. So for me, how I build trust for myself is listening to myself. And I speak in ways of having a thought or a question and saying it or sharing it with the person I'm speaking with and feeling warmth like in my chest, my heart beating a little bit fast. And that tends to happen when there's something that has piqued my interest and I want to share it, but I'm scared or nervous. And that's based on the past. It happened recently and another person wanted to show me something and they were training me on a different system. And I had that reaction of going to the thought of comparing this individual with my partner that I work with every single day. And basically just saying, oh, she's not training me the same as the other woman who trains me. So I'm pitting them against each other. This is happening all in my head. I started getting warm. I felt my heart beating a little bit. And I kept saying, like, what is she sharing with me? Like, she's going way too fast. When am I supposed to use this? Why is she telling me this? Is she just trying to make me do all this work? Like, it just kept going. And I'm trying to write notes, but I could feel myself getting flustered and frustrated. So I kind of took a breath and just said, okay, can we just pause for a second? Like, I literally put up my hands, like, can we take a minute? And in the past, if I raised a concern of I don't feel comfortable, I don't understand what's going on, it hasn't been received well. It's been, you don't remember, you don't know this, this is what I said. And it's like, obviously, no, I don't. That's why I'm asking. Don't y'all hate that? And I actually had to catch myself because I tend to do that. I'm like, remember when? No, Crystal, that's why I asked you. What did you say? But I know when I start feeling warm and hot, and recognizing if I don't say anything is literally telling myself you don't matter. Nobody wants to listen to you anyway. Just shut the F up. Look at you. Now you're going to be mad. And I was like, I know how this plays out. If I would have allowed her to continue, I would have been mad at myself, but mad at her for not being this other woman. And all three of us in my head would have been just effed. There was no chance of us collaborating because now I have this stigma or this thought of she's not like the other trainer. I don't want her to train me. I don't want her to talk. Like it would have snowballed. So I decided to pause it because I didn't want to keep repeating that. And I'm aware that one of my huge values, meaning the things that I have worked on with my coach, with my therapist, is collaboration. It's a major value for me. I like to do teamwork things, meaning it could be me and another person, but if we're shooting off ideas, if they're suggesting things where I could be better and it's a safe environment, I love that. I get so excited. And I think it's because I didn't have like really, really close friends growing up. And I developed the idea of I could just do it by myself. I could just figure it out by myself. And that has led me down to it is creating the very thing that I don't want. So thinking I could just do it. I got it. I don't need anybody else. It's keeping me isolated, which is the total opposite of my major value. So when I say you being able to trust yourself, do you know yourself? And I hope I get this maybe I will get it right. I was watching something and they were saying what a therapist does. They say that you spend so much time with you and you say certain things that you don't even know you're saying or doing. A therapist is there to hold up a mirror, or a coach, hold up a mirror of what you actually are and who you actually are. Like I thought I was a great communicator 10 years ago. But if I think about some of the stories, I'm like, I was more controlling. I was more, this way would be better, so we should all just do it. Even though, quote unquote, it might have made sense to get to the end goal, but there are other people around me that don't process things like I do. So it makes sense for me, but not for the team. And if we're only doing it one way, I'm just boom, 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 closing everybody out. Again, creating what I don't want, which is isolation, no one wanting to offer suggestions, because why would they? Trust in yourself is so important. But this is the best part, you get to build that. You get to shine a light on that. You get to expand that. If you're already doing it and you are aware of it, trust that your thoughts are leading you somewhere. And not to say some thoughts are bad or good. It's more of, I had a thought. But wait, is this thought just what I'm used to doing? Is this popping up because it's out of habit? Or is this thought there because it needed to be there to protect me? It needed to be there to help me feel not so alone when everyone isolated me. There is no wrong or right, bad or good. It's, what do we say? Raising the awareness. Ooh, this is good. Okay. So told you 3 stops. First one, trusting yourself. And that was the most important one. The other one is basically trusting others. And this one is easier for me to share and it's quick because again, the work starts with us first. And most importantly, is with us. We cannot change a single soul. We can help influence. We can help show and be an example. When one person changes in a relationship, it changes the relationship. So you might be looking at your family member like you are effing up. You might be looking at your spouse like you are holding us back. If you listen to last week's episode, I had that in me just 10 years ago. I'm not perfect and I never will be. Ooh, there is no reaction. Come on, growth. Okay. So yeah, once you focus inward and you're starting to change, it will change your relationships. And again, there is no good or bad relationship. There is no right or wrong. It'll evolve whatever way you want it to evolve because you have trust in yourself and you'll speak up. So let me get back to the second stop. Trusting in others. Knowing that we can't change other people, it would be beneficial to take people at their words and their actions, where people will continue to be them. If you know someone who you feel like is not reliable, or they're always fall through with plans, or they're not the best communicators, or whatever the case may be, if they have shown you that time and time again and they haven't made strides or steps to change it, trust that is them. Again, you can say, you would be so much better if you were like more organized. Ooh, so many people would be so attracted to you if you would just quit that job and take this job. Oh man, do you know how much better your life will be if you would just meet up with this person and get married and have kids? people don't change because other people want them to change. Sustainable change happens when we want it for ourselves. People can try it and people cannot like it either. They have that choice, just like you do. And labeling them a liar or a cheat or incompetent, putting those labels on people, what I found, only made you seem good and them bad. But if in actuality we are just doing what we think is true to us, how does that feel versus you're a liar, you're a bad person, versus, oh, this is what you've been experiencing, this is what you have been exposed to, so of course you will react this way. And trusting that they're being them and they're doing the best they can. And with that knowing, are you able to look at them in a different way? Maybe seeing them as their little person, like their 7-year-old self, and seeing them as this is their perspective based on their past, based on the way they've experienced the world. This is who they are until they decide and show, I'm gonna try something else. But that's not to say who they are right now is not worthy of being heard, understood, validated. And yeah, you grew up in a household that didn't openly communicate with one another. Of course, it would be hard for you to do that, even with your spouse. Got it. So take that little bit of nugget, and last but definitely not least, trust in God and the universe, because He will continue to provide for us in ways we can't even explain. And I know that from so many, even applying for this job, y'all, I told my business coach, who, if I rewinded all the way back, my business coach that I attracted and linked up with last year, that I paid thousands of dollars for, and I don't regret it, because what I got in return, like, the coaching itself was phenomenal in terms of me going internally, figuring out what my values are, how I best thrive with attracting clients, but also attracting life, like nature, conversations with my husband, my family, looking at things from a different perspective, wanting new things, wanting to try different experiences. That paid for itself. But her knowledge of introducing me to Coaching for Everyone, which is a nonprofit, very focused on certifying 100 people of color per year by partnering with coaching companies, and IPEC happens to be one that they offered last year, one of the two they offered last year. And that alone is worth thousands of dollars. But Coaching for Everyone allowed me to actually link up with a dope coach. Her name is Cedra. Her and I still message back and forth. But me speaking to her and telling her I really want a part-time job and I'm looking for a job, basically saying I want a coaching job, but I don't necessarily want to coach people. I would like to be in a position where in the coaching realm, but maybe it's me like helping create like a curriculum, or maybe it's me helping to teach or facilitate. Like I didn't know the words, but I knew what I wanted. And 5 months later, ta-da! Even when I was applying to different positions, oh my goodness, so many, like, I applied so many different companies. It wasn't coaching companies, like companies you've heard of before, things I just found on LinkedIn. And I had to completed, oh my goodness, it had to be like 40 to 50 applications. It got to the point where I was just probably more, I don't even know. And I kept applying to the IPEC positions. And when I saw the position, I still didn't know what it was, the logistics coordinator. I was like, I don't even know what that means. I'm reading it. I think I know, but I got the chance to submit a quick video on YouTube for that position. Cause I told my husband, I was like, if I just got in front of people, cause this filling out an application, typing this stuff up is not justice for my presence. And I know that. As soon as that happened, it was like, boop. Even if I didn't get that job, it was the fact that I trusted my skills and abilities, that I could take the action of showing up, completely me, laugh and joke. We talked about comedy in the interview. Cause I was like, if I get this job, I need them to know who I am. That I'm not this stuffy and like, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. No. Laughing, joking. I was like, I want you to show up fully me. You either want this or you don't. And that saves me time by knowing that right now. And I trusted myself to do it. And so I'm so proud of myself. But when I go back to trusting God and the universe, I have been diagnosed with this eye condition when I was 16 of having uveitis, which is inflammation, the fluid that's in the fluid of my eye. My pressure has been raised, so I have glaucoma. I had cataracts removed. I had a retinal detachment. They had to reattach it. I've had steroid shots or injections to reduce the optic pressure. And at one time, I do recall feeling like I might lose my sight in my right eye with all this surgery. And even with my hard contacts, it's not 20/20, but it's way better than without it. And I recall telling my supervisor at Marshall's, my first job, I was like, if I'm going through all this, like I go to these doctor's appointments, I'm like 20 years old and everybody's so much older than me. Like, where will I be in a couple years? Like, will I be blind? And she told me, Crystal, maybe you're going through this now so you don't have to go through it later. And I trusted that. My optic pressure has been very low. I take eye drops. Haven't had a surgery in, thank you, Jesus. 21 years. That feels good to say. And these are major events, but every day I trust that if it's meant for me to wake up and be here, the least I can do is trust that the thoughts that I have, the feelings that I feel that provide me comfort, love, and peace, I'm going to follow through with that. And for me, it looks a variety of ways, and it could change day to day. But I'm offering you this thought. When was the last time you trusted yourself? If you're listening to this, I trust you will take the steps to continue to build that trust in yourself, because you're doing so right now by listening to this podcast. And maybe you may need to listen to this again a few more times to let the message really marinate within your brain and your soul. Or maybe you're like me and you need to write it down. So I trust you'll grab a dope ass notebook that you won't lose or forget where you put it in a month or two. Either way, I'm gonna trust that you will continue to grow your trust in yourself. And the UnStuck gems and questions will definitely solidify that message and allow it to soak in. Number 1, energy attracts like energy. Be mindful of what your energy is attracting and also what is not attracting. If you can't seem to figure it out, I'm sure there's a professional available to support you on discovering that answer. Number 2, trusting yourself is where change happens and is sustainable. Hear me loud and right. We cannot change other people. Number 3, in order to have a firm belief in your truth, your abilities, your strength, you have to identify what that is for you. Number 4, unlocking what is true for you builds that faith and it builds that trust. Number 5, what are some ways you build trust in yourself? Is it listening for you? Is that what builds your trust? What is it? Number 6, question your thoughts. Are your thoughts that are coming up based out of habit and it's what you've always done without any awareness? Or is that thought there because it served a purpose to protect you? Just question your thoughts, peeps. Number 7, when one person changes in a relationship, it changes the whole relationship. Number 8, sustainable change occurs when we want it for ourselves. Number 9, trust that others are being true to themselves based on their experiences and the knowledge, and they are doing the best they can. Number 10, The least we can do is trust that what we are going through right now may be to prevent us from going through it later in life. Thank you so much for spending time with me today and hopping aboard the dope train of unstucking yourself. I hope you'll return next week. Please take the time to leave a review for this podcast. It could be on Apple Podcasts. You can write a short caption or you can leave a whole term paper. I'll welcome it all. And if you already have done so, I thank you so much. And if you notice the growth within the show, feel free to go back and leave another review. The more the merrier. And as always, until next time, stay unstuck, peeps.